Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text 26. O Brahmanas, the incarnations of the Lord are innumerable, like rivulets flowing from inexhaustible sources of water. So there are innumerable avatars of the Lord portraying the Supreme Lord's desire to have us experience love of God, right? His desire to bring us back to where we belong, to his home. And that's why he keeps coming. He sends his representatives. He has given us scriptures. And there are constant reminders from Durga Devi through lots of trials and tribulations in our lives that tell us, why are we here? Why are we suffering? Why is there injustice in this world? And when we ask these questions, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. I give you the intelligence by which you can come back to me. And thus, we are able to find our way back to Krishna through the medium of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Okay. Somebody wants to read the next verse? Text 27.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I read
Please.
text 26? Rishayo manavo deva manuputra mahajasah kalaha sarve harireva prajapatayah smrita. Translation. All the rishis, manus, demigods, and the descendants of Manu, who are especially powerful, are plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. This also includes the Prajapatis.
Purport. Those who are comparatively less powerful are called Vibhuti. And those who are comparatively more powerful are called Avesha incarnation. So demigods, descendants of Manu, all rishis who are especially powerful are plenary portions of the plenary portion. So there are expansions and expansions and expansions of the Lord. Let's keep it at that for now. It will be expanded later on. It's complex. Text 28. Eti chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyadi Vyakulam Lokam Mrityanti Yuge Yuge. All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets wherever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the atheists. So this is the pivotal verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam basically circles around. It's the supremacy of Krishna and the originality of Krishna. That Krishna is not a plenary portion. All these avatars and munis and rishis and Lord Buddha and Shaktavesha avatar and Leela avatar and all of these different avatars. Who's the originator of them? Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Right? From him, everything is coming. So the Hindu idea that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, right, from Vishnu all the avatars are coming, that's a misunderstanding. According to Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma himself is speaking, first of all, and Srimad Bhagavatam, Padma Purana, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, you name any hundreds of scriptures, they will all point to the same direction, which is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Swayam means he is the original personality of Godhead. He is God himself. And everyone is his parts and parcels or his expansions. Right? But he is the original personality of Godhead. And that is important to understand why. I want to ask that to all of you. Why is it important to understand Krishna's supremacy? Is this like a club culture? My daddy is better than your daddy?
No, we have to find what is the origin, because yes, origin is important.
Yes. So there is dad, there is uncle, there is cousins, but father is one. And it is important to understand who is the original father, and that is Krishna. There are many uncles. There are wonderful, wonderful, uh, senior god brothers and senior, there are demigods. There are all these wonderful personalities who Krishna has provided for us. But we should know who we have come from and who is most accessible of all of them. Krishna, although the original and the most supreme, he is the most accessible also. You can hug him, you can dance with him, you can play tug of war with him, you can feed him, right? He's most accessible. And that is the beauty of Krishna. And that's why he's all attractive. His pastimes are so attractive. So all of them appear on planets whenever there is disturbance created by atheists. So Krishna personally comes, and Krishna comes in many other forms whenever there's a disturbance on the planet. So the same thing has been spoken in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna himself. That Dharma Samstha Pari Sambhava. What is that verse? Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. Right? So to establish Dharma, religiosity, he comes Yuge Yuge. Paritranaya Sadhunam, to protect the sadhus. Vinashaya Dushkritam, to destroy the Dushkritas, atheists. Dharma Samsthapanarthaya, establish religiosity, like he's doing with speaking the Bhagavad Gita itself, setting his own example. Sambhavami Yuga Yuga, keep coming in every yuga. So the Lord incarnates to protect the theists and to annihilate the atheists. So in this case, this verse, we'll read the purport because it's an important verse, and Srila Prabhupada has some very important things to say. In this particular stanza, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is distinguished from other incarnations. He is counted amongst the avatars, incarnations, because out of his causeless mercy, the Lord descends from his transcendental abode. Avatara means one who descends. Avatari, avatara. Right? All the incarnations of the Lord, including the Lord himself, descend to the different planets of the material world, as also in different species of life, to fulfill particular missions, like Kurma Avatar as tortoise, Matsya Avatar as fish, Narsingadev half lion, half human. So even different species is being mentioned here. Sometimes he comes himself, sometimes his different plenary portions or parts of his plenary portions or his differentiated portions, directly or indirectly empowered by him, descend to this material world to execute certain specific functions. Originally, the Lord is full of opulences, all prowess, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. When they are partly manifested through the plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions, it should be noted that certain manifestations of his different powers are required for these particular functions. When in the room, small electric bulbs are displayed, it does not mean that the electric powerhouse is limited by the small bulbs. The same powerhouse can supply power to operate large-scale industrial dynamos with greater volts. Similarly, the incarnation of the Lord display limited powers because so much power is needed at that time. Right? For example, Kurmavatar. Did he show any childhood pastimes? No. Did he kill any demons? No. What was his incarnation? Mount Meru was put on his back, so Samudra Manthan could happen. Right? That was his role. It was very limited. Doesn't mean that is all he can do. No. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Kurmavatar, that was his role, that was what was needed at that time. But as Balaram, as Lord Ramachandra, as Narsingadev, he's doing insane things. Lord Narsingadev single-handedly killed Hiranyakashipu and his entire army, right? Including spacecrafts and everything, single-handed, right? That was what was required. So what is required according to the that light bulb wattage is given. That avatar has certain light bulb wattage. So in Krishna's case, is kill innumerable demons, innumerable armies, stole and buttered, showed his soft side, showed his hard side, showed his diplomatic side, 16,108 wives, Vishnu Darshan, right? What has he not done in Krishna Avatar? So that's where that was needed at that time, and that's what he did, right? Showing his opulence in its fullest form. So whatever is required at whatever yuga, at whatever time, that is what he provides in his avatar format. For example, Lord Parashurama and Lord Nrsimha displayed unusual opulence by killing the disobedient Kshatriyas 21 times and killing the greatly powerful atheist Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was so powerful that even the demigods in other planets would tremble simply by the unfavorable rising of eyebrow. So if Hiranyakashipu raised his eyebrow, the demigods would tremble in fear. Such a person and his entire army was killed by Nrsimhadev alone. The demigods in the higher level of material existence many, many times excel the most well-to-do human beings in duration of life, beauty, wealth, paraphernalia, and all other aspects. So they are better than the best of the humans, demigods. But even with that, they were afraid of Hiranyakashipu. Thus, we can simply imagine how powerful Hiranyakashipu was in this material world. But even Hiranyakashipu was cut into small pieces by the nails of Nrsimhadev without any weapons, just by his nails. Nrsimhadev destroyed Hiranyakashipu, pulled out his intestines, made a garland for him. Hiranyakashipu, This means that anyone materially powerful cannot stand the strength of Lord's nails. Similarly, Jamadagnya displayed the Lord's power to kill all the disobedient kings powerfully situated in their respective states. Buddha created a faith in the mass people. The incarnation of Rama and Dhanvantari displayed his fame, and Balaram and Mohini and Vamana exhibited his beauty. Dattatreya, Matsya, Kurma, and Kapila exhibited his transcendental knowledge. Nara and Narayana rishis exhibited his renunciation. So all the different indirectly or directly empowered incarnations of the Lord manifested different features. But Lord Krishna, the primordial Lord, exhibited the complete features of God. And thus, it is confirmed that he is the source of all other incarnations. And the most extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Sri Krishna was his internal energetic manifestation of his pastimes with the cowherd girls. His pastimes with the gopis are all displays of transcendental existence, bliss, and knowledge, although these are manifested apparently as sex love. The specific attraction of his pastimes with the gopis should never be misunderstood. The Bhagavatam relates these transcendental pastimes in the 10th canto. And in order to reach the position of understand the transcendental nature of Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, the Bhagavatam promotes the student gradually in 9 other cantos. So, in no other Leela, no other avatar, the intimate relationship between Krishna or Supreme Lord and his consort is described in details. Right? We don't know much about how Ram Sita interacted. In fact, they interacted very little. Nrsimhadev, Lakshmi Devi, not so much known. She was scared. She was sitting on his lap, seeing him breathing so heavily, she kind of walked away, came back later on after he was appeased. Same with Masavatar, Kurmavatar, different incarnations. The husband-wife relationship is not very much visible. The childhood pastimes not visible at all. But Krishna's case, his childhood pastimes are visible, details, and details between Krishna and Radharani, Krishna and the gopis, Krishna and the wives, 16,108 wives. Details and details and details is manifested. So, Now, it might seem like, how people understand, oh, these are just boy-girl love, sex love, this, that. And that's why Srimad Bhagavatam, before going into Rasa Leela, there are 9 cantos before that. Spends a lot of time, Vasudev spends a lot of time to understand the God Tattva, the Vishnu Tattva. Who is God? So when we don't understand somebody, how great they are, then it's very easy to kind of pull them down to our level. So what? So what's the big deal? Okay, he can also do it, I can also do it. But when we understand through the 9 cantos how great is God and how insignificantly small we are and how unknowable he is, then we enter 10th canto with that on reference. And through 10th canto, we enter Krishna's intimate pastimes with the gopis. And then maybe, if he very kindly desires, we can understand somewhat of what is Gopi Bhav, or love of Krishna for the gopis, love of Krishna for Srimati Radharani. Right? That is topmost and the most intimate, the most secret and confidential knowledge that is out there. And it is not for public consumption. And hence, it is embedded. Bhagavatam as 11 or 12 cantos, right? Is embedded in the 10th canto, almost towards the end. Same way, if you see Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. The middle 6 chapters talk about Bhakti Yoga. The same way, the core, if you see a fruit, right, or a sweet, or a sandwich, the core is very sweet, right? Unless there's a seed in there. But the core is generally very sweet. So core is where the actual juice lies. So 10th canto is that. So it's Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna's literary form. The first 2 cantos are his lotus feet. So like that, there is his thigh, his abdomen and things like that. And all the way, Mukharavinda, 10th canto is called Krishna's Mukharavinda, his beautiful face. And the 11th and 12th canto are his Mukut, right? So the beautiful face of Krishna, before reaching that, we first start with the lotus feet. And all the way we look up. So even when we go to a temple and when we take darshan of a deity, right? We first look at the lotus feet. From the lotus feet, we slowly raise our eyes all the way to Krishna's lotus face. We don't just look at the lotus feet directly, out of reverence and respect. So same way, Srimad Bhagavatam is also designed that way. We starting with chapter, canto 1, canto 2 is lotus feet, and then all the way going to 10th canto, where intimate details are given, which are not otherwise consumable or understandable if somebody tries on their own without understanding who God is. So we have taken Bhagavad Gita for several years, and now we have come to Bhagavatam. And in Bhagavatam, we will qualify ourselves, and then we will get to know about Krishna's intimate pastimes. Yes, Pradeep, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, why are all the incarnations are basically in Indian subcontinent, not in any other part of the world?
So first of all, there is no such thing as Indian subcontinent. It's Bharatvarsha, right? Bharatvarsha is not just India. Srila Prabhupada described that Bharat Maharaj, under whose name Bharatvarsha was described, he had given different parts of the world to his different sons. And the Srimad Bhagavatam will also describe it, and we'll read it when we go there. So the description describes Europe, Africa, South America, and places like that. Ravan was exporting gold to Brazil, right? So there is, if you see the Mayan architecture and things like that, you will be able to see a lot of correlation. Hanumanji's deity statues are found in Mayan history. So there's a lot of cultural connectedness. Like if you go to Indonesia, Bali, Cambodia, you see Vishnu temples. So India, as we see it today, is because of all the invasions that has happened. We're reduced to this part only, the core of India. But India was never just this. It was not the subcontinent. It was all the way through Bharatvarsha, right? And in fact, the Srimad Bhagavatam will describe that in that Bharatvarsha region, there are the Aryas and the Anaryas. We say in Hindi, Anarya kya tu? Comes from the word Anarya. Matlab, people who are Aryas have follow the Vedic system. Anaryas are those who don't follow the Vedic system. So it's very specifically described the Chinese people who are Anaryas, the Andhra people who are the Anaryas, like that. The Huns, people on the other side of China. What do they call? Next to Tibet.
Hunas. 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 Yes.
Right. So
Mongolians.
right, but these places there are the Anaryas who live, right? Who don't fully follow. So how does it know? So it doesn't talk about just this subcontinent. But yes, where you stand right now, where you are right now, this India, this is basically where Mount Meru is supposed to be, and this is the center of what we understand of Bhumandala. Kind of like, because the capital is Hastinapur, right? So that's the center place. All the other places, they're part of Bharatvarsha region only. If you go to Greece, there are inscriptions in Sanskrit that can be found, right? Even in North America, there has been steel balls and metallic balls that are found that are 2.3 billion years old that completely defy evolutionary theory, right? So there's a lot of evidence around the world. Now, a lot of those don't match with modern science. The understanding of evolution that, we have not come from just monkeys. We have existed when dinosaurs also existed. There were footprints found of dinosaurs and humans on the same stone, right? And later on, it was said it's a hoax. It's not true. And the person went to court. He was removed from archaeological, circles. That you've done a hoax. You're no more archaeologist and whatnot. He went to court. He proved it that it was actually that human footprint and a dinosaur footprint was found on the same stone at the same time, at the same strata, right? And but when he won the court, the judgment, his career was already over. So nobody really cared to find that out. So point is, there are so much archaeological proof about human existence, Vedic existence throughout the world. And in fact, Srimad Bhagavatam describes also, as we go through, we will see all those places and whatnot, right? Different European heritage and whatnot, the skin colors and how different people are different skin tone, different species. There are 400,000 species of humans alone, right? So the Bhagavatam does not just talk about Earth planet. It talks about other species of humans and other planetary systems also. So 4 lakh species of humans. We have only seen blacks, Chinese, whites, browns. There are so many more, right? Even the Bhagavatam talks about, what do you call them? Yetis, right? Large human beings who are found in Himalayas and forests in Tibetan regions. So all kinds of species are talked about. So it's not just we are found in India only. It's a large scheme of things. But yes, India is a core, Punya Bhumi. This is the Punya Bhumi, where Vedic culture, it was the capital. This is the center of entire world in terms of the Vedic universe is concerned. That's why there's so much prominence here. And after all the invasions, this part is still intact. Varanasi and UP and all these places, this wonderful places where so many things have happened. Those things are still intact. The Yamuna, the Ganga banks, so much has happened there. From Lord Ramachandra to Lord Krishna to Parashuram to Buddha, you just see this belt. So this is where we are, is a very sacred part. But that doesn't mean we are limited to only this subcontinent.
Right, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, what is the example of parts of plenary incarnation?
Sure. So Krishna expands to Balaram. So Balaram is a direct expansion, Vishnu Tattva. Balaram expands to Shankarshan. So that's the expansion of expansion. Parts of that expansion is Mahavishnu, and his parts are Karanadaksha Vishnu and Shirodaksha Vishnu and all that. Sorry, Karanadaksha Vishnu is Mahavishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu, who from the pores of the Lord, Mahavishnu, universes come out. So in each universe, there is the Garbhodaksha Vishnu in the Garbhodaksha. Sorry, I keep mixing this up. But you get it. The Vishnu that runs the universe. He is a part of Mahavishnu, who is a part of Shankarshan, who's a part of Balaram, who's a part of Krishna. So
Okay.
plenary portion is Balaram. His part, Shankarshan. His part is Mahavishnu. So how great is Krishna? Right? So that's what Prabhupada means.
Understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Super soul in the heart. He's also, right? He's also, so the same Vishnu who's managing this universe, he's also manifested in our heart as super soul. Complex stuff, not getting into too much details because I myself get lost when I get into these details. I'm not very intelligent, but you're getting the point. Krishna is great, we are small, so we should worship him. That's the conclusion. According to Srila Jiva Goswami's statement, in accordance with authoritative sources, Lord Krishna is a source of all other incarnations. It is not that Lord Krishna was any source of incarnation. It's not that Lord Krishna has any source of incarnation. So Krishna, by design or by definition, does not have a source. Krishna is the source. So if Krishna had a source, that source would be God or the original personality. So Krishna does not have a source. He is the source of all, everything that we know. All the symptoms of supreme truth is full, are present in the person of Lord Krishna. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord emphatically declares that there is no truth greater than or equal to himself. Vedescha sarver ahamevya vedya. Aham sarvasya prabhu. Everything comes from me. In the stanza, the word Swayam is particularly mentioned to confirm the Lord Krishna has no other source than himself. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Right? So Lord does not have any other incarnation or any other source but himself. He is his own cause. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Particularly mentioned to confirm the Lord has no other source than himself. Although in other places the incarnations are described as Bhagavan because of their specific function. Nowhere are they declared to be the supreme personality. In this stanza, the word Swayam signifies supremacy as a Samam Bonam. The Samam Bonam Krishna is one without second. He himself has expanded himself in various parts, portions, and particles as Swayam Rupa, Swayam Prakasha, Tat, Ekatma, Prabhava, Vaibhava, Vilasha, Avatara, Avesha, and Jivas. We are also parts of Krishna. We are Jivas. Right? So don't just think, oh, such great personalities. We are also particles and parts of Krishna. Aham Bija Pradapita. I am the seed-giving father. Right? We have come from Krishna. Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Mamai Vamsa, you're my Amsa, you're my part. So we are all divine. We are all part of God. We are also expansions of the Lord. So Swayam Rupa and all the way to Jivas. So we still exist, we are here. All provided with innumerable energies, just suitable to the respective persons and personalities. Learned scholars in transcendental subjects have carefully analyzed the Samam Bonam Krishna to have 64 principal attributes. All the expansions or categories of the Lord possess only some percentages of these attributes. But Sri Krishna is the possessor of the attributes cent percent. So there are 64 qualities that are described about Krishna that are in him only and in no other avatars. Because in him, God's godliness is fully manifested, cent percent. And his personal expansions such as Swayam Prakasha and Tad Ekatma, up to the category of the avatars for all Vishnu Tattva, possess up to 93% of these transcendental attributes. Lord Shiva, now we're getting controversial. Lord Shiva, who's neither avatara nor avesha nor in between, possess almost 84% of the attributes. But the jivas or the individual living beings in different statuses of life possess up to the limit of 78% of the attributes. Imagine that. Being 78% only having the qualities of God. So something to be, not proud of, but to be inspired about. But we are so divine. In the conditioned state of material existence. So understand the percentage given by Srila Prabhupada is based on the 64 gunas that are there. Right? 64 gunas manifested by Krishna, which will be described. You will get to know them soon. But based on those 64 qualities, we have 78% of those qualities. Not bad. 78% of Krishna qualities. Okay. 84% is with Lord Shiva. The Jivas, 78% of the attributes. In the conditioned state of material existence, the living being possesses these attributes in very minute quantity, varying in terms of the pious life of the living being. The most perfect of living beings is Brahma, the supreme administrator of the universe. He possesses 78% of the attributes in full. All the other demigods have some attributes in less quantity, whereas human beings possess the attributes in very minute quantity. Now, if you think about it, Lord Brahma's son, Narad Muni, he's flying around, right? Place to place, universe to universe, including going to Vaikuntha and coming back. He's also Jiva, 78%, just like his father has fullness of the 78%, he also has that. So with that power, how much free he is. That means this innate ability is within all of us. Just that is manifested very small way. Yes, Pradeep.
Prabhuji, it's up to 78%. Not all
It is
of us
there.
have
No,
78.
the qualities are all there, but it might not be manifest. Let's say somebody who's a drug addict, he can hardly open his eyes. He can't even manifest intelligence. What to speak of the other qualities? But are those qualities in him or her? Can that person be ignited? Did Lord Buddha go through the process of meditation and become, awakened? Yes. So when you get awakened, then those 78% become fully awakened. Like it's there in Lord Brahma or Narad Muni and others. But is it there? Yes, it is there.
So Lord Brahma achieved all the 78% of quality.
Lord Brahma, in him it's manifested in full, the 78%,
Yes.
all the qualities. That's why he's able to bestow upon the Jiva so many blessings and all that. If you see the demons who hate the Supreme Lord, don't go to the Supreme Lord, but they go to either Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. Ravana prayed to Lord Shiva, right? Hiranyakashipu prayed to Lord Brahma. Because they are able to give so much, because they are themselves having so much. But still, not as much as God, but whatever is required for running a universe, they have it. So yes, it is also within us. If you want, Pradeep Prabhu, you can be the next Brahma. There's no question about it. You just have to do 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas.
In Kali Yuga, it's not possible.
No, Kali Yuga is not even enough. You have to take 100 lifetimes and do perfect Varnashram system, maintain Varnashram system for 100 lifetimes, 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas, and qualify yourself to be Lord Brahma. It's not a joke to be Lord Brahma, but it's not required. But you can. So the point is, same that, the fire that is inside you, the divinity that's inside you, 78%, that is in Lord Brahma.
Right.
So that's something to understand, that how much is there and how much is unused potentially. Yes, Praveen.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, actually, if you look at the personalities like Ravana or Hiranyakashipu, they all, do extreme austerities and pleases the god, demigod, or Lord Brahma for that matter.
Yes.
And eventually they become the completely bad personality, right, Prabhuji? And then it will lead on to, what do you call, Ramayana and all, Yuddhas and all, right? I mean, the wars and etc. So I was just thinking, after pleasing Lord with so much of austerity,
No, not pleasing
ideally
the
they
Lord.
should become the
Not pleasing the Lord. Be very careful. They are envious of the Lord.
Before Prabhuji, before actually to get those powers, they were doing austerities and then get
To
the
who?
extreme powers, right?
To who? Austerities to who?
To Lord Brahma,
Lord
to
Brahma.
please Lord
Not
Brahma.
Lord Krishna, not Vishnu, right? They're
Ah,
enemies of the Supreme Lord. That's why they go to Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva.
okay,
So
okay,
those
Prabhuji.
austerities, and if you see, if you read the history, and Srimad Bhagavatam will describe these in details, that Lord Brahma didn't want to come to Hiranyakashipu. Somebody
Hmm.
who was a little better intentioned, Lord Brahma would have manifested much easier. But to Hiranyakashipu, he knew the fellow is a crook. With this power, he will misuse it. But then Hiranyakashipu was so powerful in his tapasya that he heated up the universe. And the demigods were like, we can't take this heat. Lord Brahma, please do something. So Lord Brahma was almost forced to come and manifest himself. Lord Shiva, I forget that personality, that demon who wanted to touch anybody's head and explode it. Lord Shiva didn't want to come. Can anyone remember the name of that demon? I forget his name.
Is it Bhasmasura, Prabhuji?
I think so, yes. So the moment Lord Shiva gave the benediction that you can touch anybody's head and it will explode, he's like, okay, let me try it on your head. And then Lord Shiva had to run. Lord Shiva's running, Bhasmasura is running after him. Then Lord Shiva's like, what do I do? And then he calls out Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is like, yeah, sure. You give the blessings to anyone and everyone, and I have to fix it. So he comes and he tells Bhasmasura, oh, Bhasmasura, you're so powerful. You're so this, you're so magnanimous. But Lord Shiva is not very powerful. He actually never tells the truth. He's anyway, he starts saying, oh, Lord Shiva's power, his blessings have no power. Really? Yeah, you should try it on your head. See, touch your head, nothing will happen. The Bhasmasura touches his head, it explodes. He dies. so you see, so these demons, they will never go to the Lord. Whereas Bali Maharaj, being a devotee, although born in demoniac family, he knows no one but the Supreme Lord. Even though the Supreme Lord is taking away everything from him, all the three worlds that he has earned, he gives it away. Knowingly gives it away. That's a devotee. Whereas this Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, materialistic minded. I want to enjoy. I want to be the conqueror. I want power. I want this. I want to be God. Right? So they will never go to God. They will go to Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. And the other smaller demons
Got it,
will go to Agni, go to Indra, go to this, that, get small benedictions and become small demons. I don't know if I answered your question, Praveen. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhuji. No, only thing is the quite tricky thing is they become demons, right? I mean, so they go to the representatives of God at the end of the day,
They
right?
become demons. They are demons. And they are doing those tapasyas with the demoniac tendency. They're educated demons, so they know that with tapasya they can achieve this. Today we have uneducated demons who are using technology to destroy the world.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji.
Sorry if it offends anyone, but that's the reality. These demons knew the power of yoga, the power of tapasya, the power of Vedic science, and they were using it for negative purposes. Like a lot of people, tantrics and all, they do vashikaran. They use subtle power to take over a person's mind and make them do whatever they want. Right? That is far more powerful than hypnosis, or hypnosis is also something subtle, but I don't know, whatever technology can do today. Because Vedic technology is of a whole different level, metaphysical level. And that's not spiritual, by the way. That is on the subtle platform, playing with your subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego, and having influence on that. And that's what these guys are playing with, yogic siddhis and whatnot. Okay. Anything else?
Prabhuji, I think if I have to look at it, almost it's very repeatedly it is being said that it is establishing the, I mean, in Bhagavatam, the recent cantos or whatever you're reading now, Prabhuji, it's emphasizing that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right? so much of emphasis is being given,
Yes.
right? I mean, any
And yet
specific
people
reason,
think
Prabhuji?
Durga, Kali, Shiva, Ganesh, everybody else, in spite of all the emphasis. It's not enough.
Right, Prabhuji.
Are you asking why it's being emphasized?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, almost repeatedly. It is just to ensure that, it should get into the minds and hearts of the
Yes.
people, or how is it, Prabhuji?
Yes. But unfortunately, still we are failing. People still ask,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
Krishna?
Exactly.
Why should we worship Krishna? Why not this? Why not Sai Baba? Why not this Baba?
Right.
In spite of all this,
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Because Prabhuji, we can get 100% of attributes by being devotee of Krishna.
I'm sorry, what?
Right now, we only have 78%, but by being becoming a devotee, we can get 100%.
Hare Krishna. All right. Okay. A living being can become godly. All other demigods have some attributes in less quantity, whereas human beings possess the attributes in very minute quantity. The standard of perfection for a human being is to develop the attributes up to 78% in full. The living being can never possess attributes like Lord Shiva, Vishnu, or Lord Krishna. A living being can become godly by developing the 78% transcendental attributes in fullness. But he can never become God like Shiva, Vishnu, or Krishna. He can become a Brahma in due course. The godly living being, who are all residents of the planets in the spiritual sky, are eternal associates of God in different spiritual planets called Haridhama and Mahesh Dhama. The abode of Lord Krishna above all the spiritual planets is called Krishna Loka or Goloka, Vrindavan. And the perfected living being, by developing 78% of the above attributes in fullness, can enter the planet of Krishna Loka after leaving the present material body. So, to your point, Pradeep Prabhu, we can get 100% of the 78%. But the rest of it, Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna has a little monopoly of that. So those who say you become God, we can't become God. We are God's parts and we are divine. And 78% divinity is quite good. Quite good. All right. So we'll end it here. If there's 1 minute left, if anybody has any question or comment, feel free. If not, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna and see you next Friday.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you.